She was radiant, not just in the way she smiled, but in the way she looked at him, as if he were the only man on earth. He felt invincible with her. Every morning was brighter, every night more peaceful. But as the months passed, something strange began to happen. His hobbies faded. His friends stopped hearing from him. He changed his schedule, his goals, his personality, bit by bit, until he couldn't remember who he was without her. You've probably seen this happen, maybe to someone you know, maybe to yourself. Love is beautiful, but unchecked, it can become a slow erosion of identity. Not through malice, through devotion, through the desire to merge completely with someone else. But if you lose your identity in the process of loving someone, is it really love, or is it dependency dressed in affection? The Stoics warned us about this thousands of years ago. Epictetus said, "Never depend on the admiration of others. There is no strength in it." And that includes romantic admiration. Because if the foundation of your happiness is the approval, attention, or presence of another person, then you've built your life on shifting sand. The Stoic path isn't about pushing people away. It's about loving with clarity, being connected without being consumed. It's about standing beside someone you cherish without losing the ground beneath your own feet. But that's easier said than done, right? Think about it. Have you ever felt the rush of falling in love and slowly abandoned parts of yourself to make the other person more comfortable? Have you let go of routines, dreams, even values to keep the peace? Maybe you toned yourself down because they couldn't handle your intensity. Or maybe you tried to become who they wanted, until you couldn't recognize your reflection anymore. That's not love. That's sacrifice of the self. And the Stoics would argue, what use is love if it costs you your core? Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminded himself often, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water." That's who you must be, even in love, especially in love. So how do you stay that way? How do you love someone deeply, passionately, fully, without losing yourself in the process? Start here. Remember that your identity is not negotiable. Your values, what you believe in, how you treat others, the disciplines you practice daily, are your anchor. When you enter a relationship, bring your whole self. Not a version tailored to please. Not a personality you sculpted to match theirs. Be real. Be whole. And if they truly love you, they won't just accept it. They'll respect it. And yes, it takes courage, because often we're afraid that showing our true selves might make us less lovable. So we mold, we shrink, we adapt. But what you hide to keep someone, you'll eventually resent them for not seeing. Epictetus again gives us wisdom here. He said, "Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior. Let the God that is within you be the champion of the being you are." The God within you. Your reason, your virtue, your purpose. That's the part of you that should never bow to emotion, not even to love. And speaking of purpose, here's a hard truth. Your romantic partner should complement your purpose, not replace it. You were not born to be someone's other half. You were born whole. Your purpose, your mission in life, is yours alone. If love enhances it, wonderful. If love distracts you from it, reevaluate. A Stoic remains committed to their path, not swayed by praise or affection, not derailed by infatuation. And this is important. Boundaries are not barriers to intimacy, they're the foundation of it. Have you ever tried pouring water into a cracked cup? It leaks. It never fills. That's what a relationship without boundaries is like. It feels full for a moment, then empties you. Your boundaries say, "This is what I need to function, to flourish, to stay grounded." And if your partner respects those, you build a love that grows two individuals, not just one entwined blur. Now I want to ask you something directly. When was the last time you did something that made you feel deeply you? Not something you did with your partner, something that reflected your own spirit. A walk at dawn, a page you wrote, a challenge you conquered. If you're struggling to answer, maybe it's time to reconnect with your essence. One of the most powerful things you can do for your relationship is to nurture your individuality. Read, reflect, train, travel, create, expand. Because the more whole you become, the more love you have to give. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They simply refused to let emotion rule them. They believed in love, but they believed even more in self-governance, in sovereignty of the soul. Imagine a relationship between two people who are both rooted in purpose, values, and calm. There's no panic if one needs space. No collapse if one disagrees. No loss of identity if the tides of life shift. Instead, there's trust, balance, freedom. That's Stoic love. And yes, it's rare, but so is anything truly worthwhile. Here's another question for you. If the person you love left tomorrow, who would you be? That's not a dark question. It's a Stoic one. Memento mori, remember. You could lose anything at any time. So build your identity not on presence, but on principle. A partner can add to your joy, but your joy cannot depend on them. That's the paradox of Stoic love. The more whole you are alone, the deeper you can love another. Not out of need, but out of choice. Out of overflow. So start now. Reclaim what you've let slip. Revisit your purpose. Reconnect with your principles. Reignite your passions. You don't have to walk away from love to find yourself. But you must stop walking away from yourself for the sake of love. The one who loves you will celebrate your wholeness, not demand your silence. And you are far too valuable to be deluded. Stand tall in who you are. Love deeply. But hold fast to your identity. That is the Stoic path. That is real strength. That is real love. Now, ask yourself, are you in love or are you disappearing? Because knowing the difference could change your life.